Hello everyone, I'm Shalaka Deshpande. Welcome to the fourth lecture on artificial intelligence. So let's get started with this lecture. So basically in this lecture we are going to study about various environments in AI. Okay? So what are the exactly types of environments where agents work? So fully observable versus partially observable environment. Now, the agents in the AI can either work in the fully observable environment and partially observable environment, and we will see what is difference between the two. In fully observable environment, it is based on observability. Whether the agent sensors can have access to complete state of environment at any given time or not decides if it is fully observable or partially observable environment. Now there are various states in environment, and every in the fully observable environment, okay, agents have access to all the states at all the time. That's why it is called as a fully observable environment. Okay. So in a fully observable environment, agents are able to gather all the necessary information required to take the actions. In the fully observable environment, agents gather all the necessary information and then they take the actions. Okay. So in fully observable environment, agents don't have to keep record of internal states. Whatever are the internal states are there, they don't have to keep record of those states. They already have access to them. For example, in the 8 puzzle problem, Sudoku problem, in all these examples, state is completely visible at any point of time. In the 8 puzzle problem, there are various states in the 8 puzzle problem and Sudoku. Okay, and they are visible at all the time. Okay, means you don't have to wait for another state, or only few states are visible at a particular time and few states are not visible at a particular time. All the states are visible at all the time. In the partially observable environment, sensors cannot provide errorless information at any given time for every internal state, as environment is not seen completely at any point of time. So in the partially observable environment, they provide information. Sensors provide information, but those information are having errors. Okay, we have sensors, actuators, and machine. Okay, processing unit. So sensors actually capture, perceive the information from the environment, and whatever the information they get, that is having some errors at the time. Okay, because all the states are not accessible at all the time. There are few states which we don't have access to. So in the partially observable environment, all the states don't have access. In the automated car driver system, automated car cannot predict what other drivers are thinking while driving cars. Only because of the sensors information gathering expertise, it is possible for automated car driver to take the action. So in automated car driver, there is traffic on the road is constantly changing. It is constantly changing. So it cannot predict what will be the traffic out in the future. So it is the example of a partially observable environment. So second is a single agent versus a multi-agent environment. Whether the agent is operating on its own or in collaborating with other agents decides if it's a single agent or a multi-agent environment. If an agent is acting alone in the environment, it is called a single agent environment. And if the many agents are acting at a time in the environment, it is called a multi-agent environment. Okay, so it is the number of agents. It depends on the number of agents basically. In case of a vacuum cleaner, only one machine is working, so it's a single agent. Vacuum cleaner is a program to clean the room and only single machine is working in the room, so it is a single agent environment. In case of car driving agent, there are multiple agents driving on the road, hence it is a multi-agent environment. In the multi-agent environment, example is a car driving. There are various cars which are driving, and there is a coordination between the cars most of the time when they're driving on the road. So there are multiple machines which are working. So it is the example of multi-agent environment. So their multi-agent environment is classified into two types: cooperative multi-agent and competitive multi-agent. Now, if the automated car driving agent, okay, whatever the speed of the car is there on the road, or whether to take left turn, right turn, it depends where the car has to go and the speed of the car, and that depends on other cars which are present on the road. So all the machines have to cooperate with each other. So that is a cooperative multi-agent environment. That is example of cooperative multi-agent environment. Whereas in the chess game, there is more than one agent. There are two agents. Both are competing with each other. Both opponents want to win. Okay, they want to outsmart the other opponents. Okay, so there is a competitive multi-agent environment in case of chess game. Next is deterministic versus stochastic environment. When the next state of environment is completely determined by previous state, then it is a deterministic environment. In the deterministic environment, the next states depend on the previous state. Okay. So it is deterministic. Example is a vacuum cleaner, 8 puzzle problem, chess game. So whatever the next state of the 8 puzzle problem is there, it is dependent on the previous state. So it is a deterministic. Then the stochastic environment changes while agent is taking actions. In the stochastic environment, when agent is taking action, environment is changing. Whatever the actions of the agent he is taking, whenever he is taking the actions, environment around him is changing. Next state of environment does not merely depend on the current state and agent's action. So whatever the agent action which agent is taking and whatever is the current state of environment, the next state of environment is independent of that. An automated car driving system has a stochastic environment as the agent cannot control traffic conditions on the road. Okay, in the automated car driving agent, whatever the traffic conditions are there on the road, agent cannot control it, and next state does not depend on the action of agent. In case of game like chess, the next state of environment does not depend upon the current action of agent, but is also influenced by strategies developed by both opponents for future moves. Second environment is called a strategic deterministic environment. For example, in chess game, the moves are based on the planning to win the game. Okay, what plan they are going to do to win the game. So that is a strategic deterministic environment. The next move not necessarily will depend on the previous action. The next move will depend on the strategy which is applied to win the game. Okay. So episodic versus sequential. In episodic environment is a one where each agent's action is divided into atomic incidents or episodes. In episodic environment, there is a action, and that action is divided into incidents, and those incidents are called as episodes. For example, if the story is very long and it has to be converted into movie, but it is not possible. So we have web series episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Okay, similarly, action can also be divided into various incidents, and each incident is called an episode. The current incident is different than the previous incident, and there is no dependency between the current and the previous incident. As the current incident and the previous incident are different, there is no dependency between the two. Okay. In each incident, agent receives the input from environment and then performs corresponding action. Okay, whatever the inputs agent is receiving, okay, accordingly the actions are performed. Generally, classification are considered as episodic. Whatever the classification problems are there, for example, classification of animals, plants, whatever classification of AI agents. Now these classifications are different. It is having individuality. They are not interdependent on each other. In sequential environment, the previous decisions can affect the future decisions. Next action of agent depends on what action he has taken previously and what action he is supposed to take in the future. Okay, so here what is happening? The action which is taken in the past will affect action which he is going to take in the future. Okay, in the automatic car driving example, current decision can affect the next decision if agent is initiating brakes and then he has to press clutch and lower down the gear as a next consequent action. Okay. So in automatic car driving agent, current decision can affect next decision. Obviously means whatever the current decisions is being taken by the driver. Next decisions will be according to that. Okay. So static versus dynamic environment. If environment remains unchanged while agent is performing given task, then it is called as a static environment. Whenever the agent is performing task and environment around him is a static, it is not changing, then it is called as a static environment. For example, Sudoku puzzle, vacuum cleaner. When vacuum cleaner is cleaning the room is not changing, position of room is not changing, architecture of room is not changing, it is constant. Only vacuum cleaner is doing its actions. So it is a static environment. If environment is not changing over time, but agent's performance is changing, then it is called as a semi-dynamic. Means environment is constant, but agent's performance is changing. Feedback system. So we call it a semi-dynamic environment. There is a timer in the environment affecting performance of agent. So there is timer. According to that timer, if less time, more output is there, the performance of agent is good, and accordingly the performance of agent is judged, and it is predicted that it is semi-dynamic environment. Okay. 8 puzzle problem with the timer to measure performance of agent. How much time the agent is able to solve the 8 puzzle problem? If environment changes while agent is performing some tasks, then it is called a dynamic environment. Now, environment is changing, agent is performing some task, then it is called a dynamic environment. Okay. In dynamic environment, agent sensors have to continuously keep sending signals to agent about the current state of environment, so appropriate action can be taken with an immediate effect. Means when the agent is performing action, okay, and environment is continuously monitoring those actions and it is changing. For example, automatic car driver is example of a dynamic environment as traffic condition environment keep changing all the time. When the car is driving on the road, the other cars and traffic conditions are changing accordingly. Okay. uh, Means the environment which is outside the car, it is not controlled by the agent. Okay, so it is the dynamic environment. Now, discrete versus continuous. When there are distinct and clearly defined inputs and outputs and actions, then it is called the discrete environment. Chess environment has finite number of distinct inputs and actions. Okay. When there are distinct and clearly defined inputs, when inputs are clearly defined and accordingly actions are taken, then it is a discrete environment. Chess environment. According to inputs, according to player one move, player two is moving. Okay. So distinct inputs and actions. When continuous input signal is received by agent, actions cannot be defined beforehand, and it is called as a continuous environment. In continuous environment, we cannot predict the action of agent, okay, because continuous input signal is being received, and accordingly the actions cannot be predicted beforehand. We cannot determine the action. Okay, so it is continuous environment. For example, automatic car driving system means automatic car driving system, the agent cannot predict where the other cars will move, what is the destination of other cars, what other agents are thinking. Okay, so it is a continuous environment. Now, known versus unknown. In known environment, output of all the probable actions is given. In the known environment, whatever the inputs are there, whatever the problems are there, its a solution is already given. Output of all the actions is given, and it is stored in a processing unit, and accordingly, when the problem arises, action are taken. In the known environment. In the case of unknown environment, agent has to make the decisions. In case of unknown environment, agent has to make the decisions. Means whatever the decisions agent is making, it is not according to the environment. Already the solution is not known. Okay, so that's about the various types of environment in AI. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have understood the contents. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.